Next, we have our friends, the Kickstarters. Our good friends. Just a couple for you today. First is Snowblind Race for the Pole, which comes to us from the same people who brought us Ancient Terrible Things, which we will talk about someday at length. Snowblind is kind of cool. It's a competitive game where everyone is racing to the pole, in case that wasn't obvious from the subtitle. And the board, the design of the board, I think, is really neat because it looks like it descends in the way the artwork is. So your little meeples are moving closer and closer to the center. And with your meeples, you have cubes that are your supply crates. And everything that you do requires you to take an action die. So usually you're moving your guys forward in different ways. And depending on what you do, you resolve your action, then you have to roll all the dice that you have. So on your second turn in, you might have 2 dice, on your third turn 3, etc., etc. And for every die that you roll, if it gets over a certain number, bad stuff happens to you. And if too much...
It's supposed to be the weather, correct?
Yes, the elements are hurting you. So you can prevent that by being in a camp. Also, if you're with other people, you're like huddled together for warmth. But over a certain number, no matter what, people are going to get hurt, and if you get hurt too much, you will die and be eliminated.
And the point of the game is to reach the center, right?
You reach the center before.
So I don't have to worry about making it back.
Actually, I could be wrong, but I thought there was a make it back.
Oh, there is? Okay.
Element to it.
So I could be. So it can't just be like, I win.
Yeah. And then you die there in the pole alone and sad. You can use the supply crates as shields, basically. But yeah, essentially it's a press your luck kind of thing, and
which makes perfect sense for what it's about.
Yeah, I think it looks, the thing that usually draws me to new games is uniqueness, and this looks like a interesting mechanic that I'd never really, or a familiar mechanic in a new way.
What I'd like to see is the Top Gear expansion where you can drive a car to the pole
that would
while
be
someone
great.
else has to use a dog sleigh.
That would be awesome. They should make a real Top Gear board game, unlike the trivia version that you have. But yeah, it looks pretty nice. It goes for $29, Snowblind. It comes with a bunch of pretty dice and meeples and things like that. Check it out. And you have a game to show us whose title is a marvel.
Yes. The Vampire, the Elf, and the Cthulhu. Now, if you notice the artwork, you may recognize something a little bit there.
Now that you mention it, I didn't look that closely, but it kind of looks like Sauron.
It does, because in fact, this point of the game is to who can write the best fantasy, horror, Cthulhian novel. So it pulls a lot from the Lord of the Rings, Lovecraft, spoilers, and like vampire stories. And like the whole thing is you have a set of cards for your story you want to make, like a secret goal.
Okay.
And there's there's a location deck, there's like a character deck, item deck, and you're taking turns gathering these cards through like an auction system and then playing them for special effects. So you're sort of like saying, no, the vampire has tentacles that attacks in the foyer.
So you're all writing the same story together.
Yes, but you all have a secret how you want it to end up.
Okay. That sounds really cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
And like like I said, it pulls a lot. So there's going to be like a ring and like orcs that look obviously the Lord of the Ring.
Is Lord of the Rings public domain or?
I don't know.
Because it should be.
Here's the thing. It might
rule.
technically be public domain, but because the movies were made and not in public domain, they might be like that falls on like.
Huh. Yeah, that's interesting. Because like everybody can't make a Lord of the Rings movie, right?
Right.
Yeah. Weird. I don't know how that works. Because I know in D&D they're halflings, but I think now that might just be out of tradition, even if they could say Hobbit. But clearly they're hobbits. But yeah, that sounds neat.
Currently, as of this recording, the early bird special is still out, which is for 21 euros. I forget how much that was exactly.
I know I'm pretty sure the non-early bird US is $21.
About 21 US dollars. I think it was 25 euros or so.
So the early bird's a little cheap. But even if you don't get the early bird, that's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
So that sounds
No, I mean, it sounds really fun. Weird story making. It's hilarious, especially with references you'll know and love, usually. If you play board game, I'm betting you love either Cthulhu, Lord of the Rings, or vampires.
Yeah.
I would be shocked if you're not into one of those three.
Yeah, that's right. I was trying to think of because when I hear elf, I think of Christmas. I guess that's Lord of the Rings. Yeah, so that looks neat. Kickstarters, check them out below. We have the links.